righty. That's going now. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Beck in Morris, Illinois. I have the pleasure of kicking things off with a little musical interlude before we start. I hope we enjoyed the songs of summer that I provided for you. And now it's time for me to introduce one of our bi-residential associates. It's summer, so she must be in Michigan. But I'm talking of Bridget Parkett Parker, who's going to deliver our signature message. Go ahead, Bridget.
Thank you, Steve. We are all part of a growing team of entrepreneurs with a shared mission to protect and empower 2 million new families and small businesses with Legal Shield's network of law firms and world-class identity theft services. What we do matters, and we are looking for help. And I'll turn it over to Dani. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. You just did a wonderful job reading that message. I love it. I love hearing it from different people because everybody emphasizes it just a little differently. Well, here we are tonight on our SPI Zoom 2.0. I'm super excited. This is our training Zoom, so this does run a little longer than our normal Sunday Zooms, just so you're aware, not much. But I'm super excited. You guys better have your notebooks ready because there's going to be some really good nuggets. And with that, I'm going to head out to Illinois to Miss Annette Zobar for stories.
Thank you so much, Dani, Steve, and Bridget. Great job and a great way to start this Zoom. As Dani said, it is story time. My name is Annette Zobar, Plainfield, Illinois. Background, small biz consulting. If you are new to the calls or new to our team, you might be wondering, why are we talking about stories? Why are they important? Well, they are how we share the incredible impact that Legal Shield has on the lives of our members and associates. They motivate us, they help us make connections with our prospects. And they're really important, especially if you're new and you don't have a lot of stories to share. You can borrow these. In fact, I borrow these stories all the time. So when you listen to these stories, take notes about what the story's about, how they tell it, their background, location, so you can borrow that story and maybe even bring them in on a three-way call when it's appropriate. So our first story tonight, we are staying here in Illinois and heading down the road to hear from Steve Beck.
Thanks, Annette. Steve Beck, once again from Morris, Illinois. My background is accounting and entertainment. About a year and a half ago, I sold a small business plan to a veterinarian. He was leaving the practice that he worked at to start his own. And over the course of the next year or so, I followed up with him occasionally just to make sure he was using the plan. And every time we talked, he had had another experience that he was happy with. He just kept raving about it. And then a little time went by where he and I hadn't talked. And it came to a point where Linda and I had to have one of our dogs put down, and our local veterinarian would not allow us both to be in the room. So I called this gentleman, told him my situation and asked if he could help. And he did. He allowed us both to come and participate in that. And then he said to me, you know, Steve, we need to talk about a personal legal plan because I have some questions. His parents were having some issues, and he was so happy with the business plan that it was a no-brainer when he had personal questions to go ahead and sign up for that personal plan. But I think part of the reason he did that was because we had kept in touch over that whole period of time. So the moral of the story, I guess, is keep in touch with your members after you sell them your memberships. Annette, back to you.
Thank you so much, Steve. That is a great story about following up and also about having success in one plan has people interested in getting another plan. So great that that small business plan, he had a lot of good experiences with that. So thank you for sharing. So we're now going to go over to Cincinnati and hear a story from Matt Miller.
Good evening, everybody. Matt Miller, Cincinnati, Ohio, background in manufacturing. And I had a client who enrolled right before COVID happened, and then she needed to cancel her membership due to financial reasons. And then a couple months ago, she actually got pulled over, her and her significant other, for a light being out on their license plate. And the officer wanted to search her vehicle. They searched the purse, didn't find anything. They didn't have anything. But she called me and said, Matt, I can't not afford to have this anymore. And so she reinstated her Legal Shield membership as well as got the ID Shield membership because she had lost her wallet a little while ago, and it was just not happy with the experience that she had. And so just by, again, like what Steve just mentioned of like just following up and still being, a great associate to our members, we have a great impact on people. And so, I have another satisfied customer who will be on the books forever. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Matt. That is a great story. And, it's a good story, a good reminder that when people do want to cancel, especially for financial reasons, to be gracious about it so they come back, because a lot of times they do. So remember, again, stories are important. So when you have one, and I know all of you do, either an opportunity or a membership, it's a great idea to share it with the team. So just reach out to me and volunteer. I now have the honor of turning this Zoom over to my workout partner and a great mentor, Ms. Leigh Perry.
Thanks so much, Annette. It's great to have workout partners and folks to keep you focused. And the woman I'm getting ready to interview for What's My Line, interview with an associate, Miss Lynette McKinley, is someone that I met at a SummerBlast. I guess, Lynette, I can't remember how far back that was. Was it the first time we were there outside of Louisville at the retreat site? I think it was a number of years back. And talk a little bit, Lynette, about how your background prepared you for your Legal Shield journey. I think you might be muted, Lynette. Let me see. Yeah, we weren't hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So, my background, being in the military, I suppose, prepared me for Legal Shield because I realized the need for our services. We had been involved in some other businesses before, finding Legal Shield. And once we found it, because of experiences that we had already had, it was so easy to get on board 100% with this company because I knew the value of the service that we were providing. And because of that, it just, launched me into what has now become a 22-year experience with Legal Shield.
And Lynette, I forgot to set my timer because I know you and I can talk and talk and talk. So you said we. Now, some folks may not know who you are and where you are. Tell us where you're located now and where you were when you and I met.
Well, I've kind of come full circle. So I started my business back in 1999 in Michigan. 2003, went to Texas, where I lived for 17 years, which is where, I was living there when we met, Leigh. And then this past October, we relocated back to Michigan. So now we are back here in the Arctic zone and experiencing some, they call this summer. I don't know that I would call it summer, but no, but it's great to be back in Michigan.
Yeah, not compared to Texas, right? The summers that they're having. And I think you did what John Drennan did, followed some family back up to Michigan so you could be with the kids and grandkids, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, so now, have you always worked the Legal Shield business by yourself, or do you have somebody helping you?
Well, it's kind of funny. Our business started because my husband found the opportunity, and my husband, Jim, is the one who actually started our business. It was a few months after he started having some, very quick success with the business that I took notice. And after a discussion, we decided that it would be something that would be great for me to become a part of, especially because it would give me the opportunity to consider quitting the job I had at the time and come home. Our boys were 3 and 5 years old at the time. So I looked at Legal Shield as an opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom and yet still keep one foot in the business world. And it definitely did that for us.
Fantastic. Well, tell me one of your favorite things about working the Legal Shield business.
I guess the people and the lifelong learning. I love the relationships that I've made over the last 20 years, lifelong friends. And I think I love just the fact that most of us have bought into the belief that, learning should be a lifelong experience. And we all buy into that. We all believe that. And I'm constantly learning and I'm becoming better at everything else I do because of what I do with Legal Shield.
Fantastic. And I know that you have been a real resource for me when I've had folks that have been in the military. You and Jim both have done some three-way calls for me, and offered to do that when you found out that I was talking to some folks that had that background. And I certainly appreciate that. What do you see as your future with? Is that fair to ask that, Lynette?
Yes, I suppose that's always fair. I see, Legal Shield, it's been a part of my past for 22 years. I see it as part of my future for the next 22 years. It'll always be a part of whatever it is we're doing. With the move, I've, stepped back a little bit in terms of my level of activity, just because, a move can do that to you. We had a lot of some family challenges. But Legal Shield's always been a part of our life and always will be. And I see in the very near future a ramp up in activity again and getting back on track. So.
Oh, good. I'm super excited to hear that. Because, one of the things that I think you and I have discussed before, and when we had that lunch together because I think that was the first time we ever chatted, was at that SummerBlast, really getting to know each other and chatting a little bit, was the fact that we're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. And even though we don't have any financial responsibility, we all support each other. Yeah. So, okay, for your last comment, Lynette, any last minute nugget you want to drop on everybody?
What I would say is, as an associate, this business has been every single thing I've ever hoped it would be. There have been times when it's been a very full-time endeavor for me. There's been times where it's been a very part-time endeavor. But no matter what season of my life I find myself in, Legal Shield fits. And I just think it's awesome to be a part of a business and a company that can support us in our journey of life, no matter what it looks like. So that's what I'll leave you all with.
Thank you so much, Lynette McKinley. Big round of applause. So glad to see your smiling face back. Excited to hear that you'll be ramping up soon, and appreciate you taking the time to be with us tonight. And now I will turn it over to Dani Goeden, who will introduce our trainer for the evening.
Actually, we're going out to Matt Miller to do our recognition.
Gotta celebrate, Leigh. We gotta celebrate first.
Man, sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, guys. So it's technically the second Sunday of the month for us here. So we're gonna celebrate all the accomplishments from the month of June. So get those fingers ready. We're gonna type in the chat here. We're gonna celebrate everybody. If you mad streaked in the month of June at all, mad streaked, type in the word mad into the chat. Here we go. Jane Lehman, mad. Steve Beck. Come on, keep them coming, y'all. Mad streak. Mad, mad, mad. Here we go. Sheila Bird's mad. Bridget's mad. Phyllis Martin's mad. Congratulations, guys. Anybody else who mad streaked? Here we go. Linda Beck, John Bradley, Lee Perry, getting mad. Love it. That's great. So you marketed at least one membership or brought on a new team member. And then if you Performance Club qualified for the month of June, just type in PC into the chat. PC. Let's celebrate you guys. There we go. Oh, you guys are ready. They were ready. Some people already had it typed in. They were just ready to hit return on that one. They were ready to go. Look at all these people. Susan, Annette, Phyllis. Great. There we go. Lee Perry, Steve Beck, Dani and Tim Goeden, of course. Jane Lehman. There we go. All right. More people checking in here. If you PC Pro'd for the month of June, just type in Pro. Pro. There we go. Oh, look at these overachievers. They're ready to go. I love it. There we go. Look at that. Congratulations to you people. Annette, Sheila, Steve. Who else we got here? Jane. There we go. Dan and Tim. Yep. All right. Cool. Any rank advancements? Anybody go from maybe manager to senior manager, or maybe director to senior director? That's a big one, right? Anybody have any rank advancements, or someone on your team who is rank advanced? Feel free to put that in the chat. Back to ED. Let's go. Let's go, Dani and Tim. That's right. Yeah. That's a big one. Yeah. Who else had a rank advancement? Or again, somebody maybe on their team that they helped rank advance as well. That's huge. All ships rise together, right, guys? And then any anniversaries, Legal Shield anniversaries, or maybe personal anniversaries, anything like that, or birthdays? What got going on? Okay. Again, congratulations, Dani and Tim, back to ED. That's huge. That's huge. Cool. Birthday, 45. Caleb, oh, congratulations. Sheila, oh, wedding anniversary. Was it the Birds? Let's go. Stick and stay, you'll get your pay. That's what I always think when I think of the Birds. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Yeah, so congratulations to you guys on that. That's amazing. Any other anniversaries or birthdays or anything like that? Birthday in June. Jane Lehman, great, great. Cool. All right. Well, congratulations to everyone who either matched reach or made Performance Club or Performance Club Pro or had a rank advancement or a birthday or an anniversary. Congratulations to all of you. Let's keep pushing forward. We're almost to the midway point of July. It's crazy that we're almost already there. So let's keep pushing for that. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to Dani Goeden.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that so much. I love when you do recognition because it's just so exciting. It gets me so excited. I love it. John Bradley just said 32nd wedding anniversary this week. Congratulations, John. That's huge. I love hearing stories like that. You give me inspiration. My husband and I are coming up on 9 years together, so I look forward to 32 years. All right. Well, with that, I do have the privilege of getting our training segment started. Now, what I want to ask is that everybody that can, please turn on your cameras. We want to see your faces. Turn them on, turn them on, turn them on. This is a request from our fearless leader. So please and thank you, everybody turning on your cameras. Super appreciate that. Awesome. All right. Well, with that, I am going to introduce our speaker. Y'all know him. He is the founder of Success Partners. He is our fearless leader. Mr. John Drennan has some special announcements for us to go over. John, it's all yours.
Thanks so much, Dani. Thanks to everyone who leads this fabulous Zoom. And thanks for reminding people to turn their cameras on. I know there was a time we used to ask, turn your cameras off. That typically was when we were using PowerPoint, and when the cameras came on, it would interrupt the PowerPoint. But in this, we want to be able to see you. And I understand not everyone can always have their camera on. You want to be appropriate when it's on, but thank you for doing that. And so first of all, kudos to everyone who's part of this Zoom. So many people have already spoken and brought value. Tonight is very special because it's coming up on our SummerBlast event. Now, many of you have attended SummerBlast with this team going back 10 plus years. You know what I'm talking about, but others, it's like, what are you talking about? You're new to the team. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And you might have heard that Leigh, in interviewing Lynette, talked about how they met at a SummerBlast. Leigh was from Indiana, Lynette from Texas, yet they came together, they met, they become friends. And then last year was different. Last year, we did our first ever virtual event after a decade of live events. And we all wondered, how's this going to work? And by the way, if you were part of last year's event, would you just do this if it worked? Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were part of that. And I wondered, how's this going to work? But it was great. And it was the first ever virtual. We had many, many speakers on many topics. Last year, the focus was on our overall wellness and growth, physical health, financial health, personal development, and obviously Legal Shield was a big part of it. And we had a lot of different speakers as part of that. We had breakout rooms where people were put together in groups of 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, depending on what the purpose was. And that was intimate. People loved that. And we had our Zoom master, Brooke Haynes, who you're going to hear from in a minute. And you know, she helped make it a really fabulous event. So let me just give the details for those that haven't heard these for the event coming up. This year's SummerBlast 2021 is going to be virtual. It's going to be Friday, August 6th. In the evening. Now, I know you're all on here tonight, but some people are going to hear Friday and say, oh, I can't attend because I need to work. You simply say to them, are you working that night? It's that evening, starting at 7:30 that evening. And then it's all day Saturday. Now, Saturday will be all day and into the evening, and that's August 7th. So the dates are August 6th and August 7th. In fact, Dani, I'm going to ask you to put that in the chat. And this year's theme is going to be very different from last year. Last year was multiple themes about our whole wellness. This year, it's going to be all about the journey to executive director. Now, not everybody has that as a goal, but nobody's opposed to it. You know, you might be a manager with the goal of getting to, you know, $1,500 a month, whether you do that as a director, executive, or senior director, but nobody's opposed to executive director. And the fact is, the journey is the same to get to any level, but to get to executive director, it's more of the journey. It's doing more of the same, but it's also more things. That journey becomes more involved, getting to executive director. And how we're going to do that, I'm going to facilitate it, but you're going to be hearing the major themes behind what it takes to get to executive director from people who have done it. And of course, in Success Partners, there have been a lot of people who have done it, but most recently, Dani and Tim Goeden in the last 12 months have hit it the majority of months and literally shifted their business in less than a year. Jason Wardell, who's on here tonight, same thing. And others are on track to do it, but then obviously we're going to hear from others who have done it in the past and those who are consistent, like Sheila Bird, who's on here, and her husband Carlos, and Timur Halligan, and others. So, but with that, I want to go out to the individual who just did so much to help make last year a success. She's a master with Zoom. And I'm going to ask Brooke Haynes, first of all, just Brooke, quickly introduce yourself again to those that don't know you. And could you just share the link, share what's on there, share how someone can register and what's involved with that, what the pricing is, and then you can come back to me. Thank you, Brooke.
Yeah, hi. I'm excited to be here and then to hear the success of all that's happening. And, you know, hearing the theme of the Success Partners being executive director is the theme. It's pretty exciting because I remember last year, Dani and Tim being just like a brand new in the area of making it to these levels. And it was to see that they've been here all year has just been so much fun. And then to hear that this entire event is going to be focused on that, that's very inspiring. That just means that's where this team is. So I'm pretty excited. How we register? I'm gonna, John, I'm gonna share my screen and show them the website. Okay, and we're gonna. It's a very simple page where we can go on. Are you all seeing the Success Partners? All right. So this is the link, and I'm going to put that in the chat right now for everyone. And this is where you can go on and register. Like last year, I'm sure as it might grow a little bit. This is last year's pitch. We had so much fun. Oh my gosh, the activity, you know, with Steve and his playlist. We had a lot of time for some good music and good dancing. It was a blast. So all that will be again here this year. So when you go on here, you'll find, land on this page. You can scroll down, check out, see if you're in the pick, and then and you register here. When you click on register, you'll be able to go in and put in your information. Now, I know that John, I can go ahead and tell you that this $15, I was going to say, I don't know if he told you this, if he's going to tell you this, but the $15 is an early bird special, and that's pretty exciting too. So that's going to run through July. After July, the whole system's it will just switch over to $20 after July 20th. Here is, when you scroll down, you'll see a tentative, or this is not tentative, this is the hours that we will be doing it. And then again, you can claim your spot. Okay. If you have any questions about your order or anything event related, you can contact us at the email right down here at the bottom. Okay, and that's pretty exciting. And I put the link in the chat so you can go there, so you will be able to go on and register and get your early bird special. Also, if there's any testimonials from last year, if you have a testimonial about the event, what it did for you, what it's done for your business, how you liked the event being virtual, then please send them to Alice. And I had that copied and pasted, but I did something different. So I'm going to go back and get Alice's email real quickly here, and I'm going to put that in the chat. And that way we would love to get your testimonial from last year. We know there were a lot of them. We got a lot of them in, and we want to collect those again. So I'm going to go ahead and put those here in the chat, Alice's email in the chat. And that would be awesome to send that to her. All right. So we look forward to seeing you there at the event. I'm pretty excited. Yes, Sean, were you going to say something?
Yes, well, I'm speaking about testimonials, a couple things. The testimonials that go to Alice, we're going to look at using, but right now I want to invite any one of you to put a testimony in the chat. Just very brief, so people who are new to the SummerBlast can read them right now. But I'm also going out to two of you. Let me start with Annette Zobar. Annette, I know you've been to more than one SummerBlast. You've helped make them happen, but will you go ahead and just share again, introduce yourself briefly and just share your thoughts on SummerBlast?
Annette Zobar, Plainfield, Illinois, background small business consulting. Of all the events in Legal Shield, SummerBlast is actually my very, very favorite one. And last year, I have to say I was a little bit nervous about it because one of the things I liked was all the interaction you get with our team. And even though it was virtual, somehow Brooke pulled it off. We got to meet so many people. We had so much fun. I felt like I had all of Success Partners sitting here in my home office. We even had a snowball fight. I was picking up snowballs a couple months later from under furniture. And in the midst of all that learning, I was really motivated to work in the virtual world because last summer, things were pretty tense and it really just gave me a boost, not only just with my whole life, but also with my Legal Shield business. So I will be registering as soon as I go grab my credit card. Back to you, John.
And thanks so much, Annette. And speaking of that, I see Matt Miller already registered, Leigh Perry just tonight. And we do invite you to wait until the Zoom's over to register if you want. I registered as soon as the link was available. So yeah, get it done. And obviously $15, it's a joke. I mean, two people at McDonald's will spend $15 and you'll have that reimbursed within the first few minutes of the event, quite frankly. So Annette, said something that is a clue. She said of all the events, and she's been to super regionals and conventions, and this has been her favorite. Ron Chambers is on. Ron's a Millionaire Club member. He's a real deal. Executive director for a long time. Been to countless events with Legal Shield. But I know SummerBlast ranks right up there, Mr. Ron Chambers. Let me go out to you for some comments, please.
Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, I really love the SummerBlast. When the first one that I went to was just evidence of something that I'd known 20 years ago, which is that you know how to put on a great event and a great training. And I guess, the thing that I like about it the most is the opportunity to really kind of interact with everybody. You can go to a convention and at the end of the night, you might go out and have a drink or something like that. But typically you're not going to eat with the whole crowd So at SummerBlast, it's really kind of more of a family get together, with some really stellar training. The training's always going to be outstanding. So I think that the SummerBlast for me is just really a more personal experience and getting the opportunity to spend time with people that you don't see every day, and especially now with 2020, the way that was, this is going to be really great. It'll be a lot of hugging and stuff on virtual hugs. And next year, hopefully we go back to, in-person event somewhere, but it's always great. You get to hear a lot of different things that are really pertinent to your business and your personal development, and maybe even like last year, things that revolved around health and so forth. And so, you got to have the wheel of life, John, right? Remember the wheel of life. You got to balance everything out. And it's just, our team, our Success Partners team just puts together a great event. So I could just ramble on about it for a long time, but I won't.
Thanks so much, Ron. And again, those that don't know, Ron Chambers working on his second million, been with us a long time, knows what a good event looks like. And I know others said they would offer a testimony tonight, but if I didn't go out to use, again, please add it in the chat. You know, Steve Beck put in the chat, his first SummerBlast kept him in the business. I want you to think about that for a minute. If he hadn't gone and wouldn't be in the business. I mean, without Steve Beck, our SummerBlast wouldn't be what they are. And think of your associates that maybe are wondering, is this business still for me or for me? Well, the SummerBlast can tip a person over in such a great way. So appreciate the comments, appreciate the chat comments. And again, Alice Englehart and Brooke, shake your head yes if you got Alice's email in there. In the chat. So anyone can go to the chat, get Alice's email and send that direct to her. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 1 or 2 sentences about what the SummerBlast means for you. And we want to get that as part of our page that you saw later. And a reminder on that page, you go there, and Dani, you can put this in the chat if you haven't. You go to successpartnersevents.com. Success Partners, plural, events, plural.com. And you'll have that page. You can register, but revisit it occasionally as we add more information to it. Now, again, different from last year where we covered a lot of topics. This year, we're going to zero in on the topic of the journey to executive director, whether you're brand new or you've been with us 10, 12 years. So, and Dani, I know that resonates with you because, you know, a year ago, you had never been executive director. You were coming up on senior director July of last year. And since then, you've been executive director a lot. I know you plan to be at the banquet as an executive director in Phoenix, and your whole business life and world have changed. We want to see others do that. That's why you and Tim will be part of the training coming up next month, August 6th and 7th. So let me go back to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. Hey, before you go, John, though, I have one more question for you. I know your book is out due soon. What influence, if any, will your book have on this year's SummerBlast?
Wow, that's an interesting question. First of all, well, yeah, the book will be out August 12th. It will be available through Kindle digitally. That's the launch date. The paperback will be out September 1st. And so what influence? Well, first of all, in writing it, I went back to a lot of files, a lot of trainings, a lot of notes just for my own remembering. And it really brought a lot of things to the forefront. I know Lynette McKinley, who's on here, and Ted Wilson, we go back, the Birds, we go back 20 years or more. And like they attended events, trainings that Jim Harkman and I were doing for the entire state of Michigan that was 20 years ago. And so a lot of notes and a lot of trainings. But the book I've written is about what can happen if one takes the journey of network marketing properly, not just Legal Shield, but in the industry. And so notice I said journey, because it is a journey to executive director. And Dani, you know that. So the influence of the book is that there's a whole journey that one can take in network marketing. In Legal Shield, a portion of that journey is the journey from wherever you are to executive director. So from that standpoint, there's a lot of influence. And once you read the book, which will be after the SummerBlast, you're going to be able to see, you connect a lot of dots on that. It's loaded with insights about the journey of network marketing, and it applies to executive director. So I appreciate the question, appreciate you, and let me go back to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, John. I'm so excited to read your book. I hope we get a little bit of teasers during the SummerBlast.
Hey,
Sure
Dani,
we probably will. Yes.
I do want to note this. I noted earlier on my screen the screen I have in front of me, of the 25 people I'm looking at without advancing to the next screen, 15 are women. I noticed the screen Brooke put up from last year. It was even a higher percentage, close to 20 out of 25. A point I make in the book is how network marketing is such a level playing field. And regardless of our resume, our background, you know, where we come from, skin color, how we practice our faith, none of that matters in terms of what you can achieve here. And I continue to say this. I think network marketing and Legal Shield is just an incredible pathway for women who I know still don't have a level playing field in the corporate world, and it's wrong. And in network marketing, that's not the case. And I just want to make that point because, again, I'm seeing on these screens, and one thing I love about Zoom, I mean, look at right now, there's more women looking at me right now than men at what I'm looking back at. So thanks for having your cameras on too, because if it was just your name, it wouldn't be as obvious. So back to you. I'm done chatting.
Well, it's funny that you say that because when Leigh and I started with the SPI Zoom 2.0 and we were listing everybody off that we wanted to speak, 90% of them were women. And we're like, I feel like we're not including enough men. We need to get more men here. So yeah, we absolutely agree. There are a lot of women, and I love that this opportunity is here for all of us. You know, many of you know my story that I, was stuck in retail. I had tried to get full-time 40 times, and I just kept getting passed up, right, when Legal Shield came up. So, and then SummerBlast, I'm going to tell you, you got to show up for SummerBlast. I wasn't showing up for SummerBlast. I kept giving John excuses years after years. He would invite me and I was like, oh, I have 3 kids. Oh, I just got back from convention. Oh, I finally made one. I was like, okay, I'm making this commitment. And that was French Lick 2 years ago. And it literally has changed me. And I know it changed me because it started changing the focus of my business then. And then it was last year when I still was thinking about SummerBlast and things that John had told me and things that Mr. Hoffman had told me. And that is where the accumulation of many things that I had been taught over the years finally just pieced together and puzzled together. And me and Tim were able to take this journey together. And SummerBlast last year was Tim's first experience of SummerBlast. He was kind of like, wasn't really listening at first. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, that was interesting. Well, that was interesting. And then all of a sudden he was sitting next to me half of the blast, like taking his own notes. And I was like, this is it. This is what we needed to re-engage and to be the team that I really wanted us to be. And then you guys have witnessed our journey from there, and I get to share it again on SummerBlast. So I'm really excited for that. With that, I am going to go out to Mr. Robert Bagley. If I can find you on my screen. There you are, sir. And I'm going to let you wrap us up with our motivation moment.
Thank you, Dani. And you are an inspiration, I have to say. Watching your journey over the past 12 months has been totally amazing. And it's been inspiring, and anything you can do, I can do better. So I just have to prove that. So when you texted me last night, I went, oh boy, help. So it was a challenge, a motivation moment. And for 2 minutes, no less. So my immediate response was, that's impossible. But I know from experience that as soon as I say it's impossible, something in me kicks in and says, I'm going to prove you wrong. So I started to look at times in my life, and one of them is right now, in fact, where things have not gone the way I would like them to go. And one of the tricks that I have developed is to take a shower and to get into the shower and to sing a song. I call this step 1. And the song that I've always sung is I'm going to wash that man from out of my hair from South Pacific. except that I don't use those words. And when I had hair, it made a lot more sense. Now that doesn't make any sense at all. So what it is now, I recognize that I've got a belief system that has to change. If you're not being successful, there's something in your belief system that's wrong. You know, and the short version of belief system is BS. And it's usually BS that you've got in your mind, is why you're not winning. So going to the shower, and I now seeing I'm going to wash this crap right out of my mind. And I do that as I'm showering, as I'm getting rid of the grime off of my body. And after I've done that and I'm rinsing off, I breathe deeply. That's a huge part of this, is to take in a deep breath and do that a number of times to relax. Because if you relax the body, you'll relax the mind. And then the mind can get creative. And then another song comes to mind very often times, which is what I started out with, is anything you can do, I can do better. So, and then refreshed and rejuvenated, get out of the shower, dry off, and look at ways that I can change, because I know it's all about me. You know, my success doesn't depend upon you, doesn't depend upon anybody else, depends upon me. And I've had great success in the past. You know, I mean, I came from a very working class background, became a professional engineer. On the strength of that, emigrated to Canada and then down to the States. So I've had success. Right now, we've been dealing with health issues. And so that obviously takes precedence. But at this point, I'm going to wash this crap right out of my hair. Back to you, Dani.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing, Robert. You even brought tears to my eyes. And I'm totally stealing that, by the way. I'm gonna wash that crap right out of my hair. I love it. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I knew you were the person that would be perfect to finish us off this evening. All right, well, everybody, this is the end. I am super excited. Thank you all for joining us again. We will be back next Sunday. Keep looking out for us. Those of us that are in Cabo, can't wait to see you in a couple of days. I'm super excited for that. And Steve, I'm back to you to share a video.